Hey Tyree,
Hey, what's up?
you have a podcast, right?
Yeah, I have a podcast. It's called Before I Forget. It's on every Monday and Thursday morning.
Did you know about Anchor?
Yeah, I know about Anchor. That's what we use to distribute our podcast.
Did you know that it has tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer?
Yeah, I knew about all that stuff, and we use it every single time for every single show for editing, right on our phone and right from our computer.
Did you know you can distribute your podcast on different listening platforms?
Mother, yeah, we knew about that. We use Anchor to distribute our podcast to Apple Music, Spotify, and tons of other different platforms everywhere across the world. Mother.
Did you know that Anchor is free?
I knew it was free because if I had to pay to use stuff, I wouldn't use it. Warning. The opinions expressed on this particular podcast are the opinions of the hosts and the guests alone. They do not represent the Army, the police, or anything else. Simply our opinions, no one else's. Thank you and enjoy before I forget. Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, how's it going, brother?
Man, another day, another day. You know what they say.
Another day, another dime nowadays.
Basically. How you doing?
Well,
How you doing?
oh,
How was
it's wide open, brother. Wide open.
right on. So in a second Kevin should be on, then we'll get started.
Yeah, sounds good.
Good,
How
good,
about
good.
your day? How's your day go?
Oh man, a little bit of everything running around trying to get shit going. I'm gonna make an effort to use less profanity this show.
Oh, it's okay, man. Y'all be y'all. That's all there is to it. That's the only way I would want it.
All right. So it's
So that
recording now. It's recording now, but I'm gonna actually edit this stuff out for once. I'm gonna clean this stuff up so we can kind of go
Oh,
over
okay.
what we need to go over before he gets on. So
Okay.
don't talk about what you don't want to talk about. Um, I mean that's really it. The only rules we got. Don't badmouth people.
Oh yeah. Yeah, never. Of course.
General courtesy about shit with people, and
I wouldn't
yeah, that's about it.
I wouldn't want any other way, my friend. Any other way.
Right on, and it is hot in here.
Would you What'd you say you was cooking? Salmon?
Yeah. So we got
Nice.
some small tomatoes and arugula, and
Oh,
what is that? Spinach, and we baked some salmon. So
yes. That's
pretty
nice.
pretty good stuff.
Yeah, nice and healthy, man. That's the way to
I'm
do
trying.
it.
I'm I'm trying, man.
Do you do mostly cooking? Or y'all kind of split it?
We kind of split it,
Okay.
man.
Way
Oh,
more.
okay. So it's just me and you here until Kevin gets here, and I'm not gonna save any of this. I gotta turn on my
Okay.
fan so I can tell you what happened with me with the police.
Yes. I'd like to know. So we're kind of off air right now, then, or off the.
Yeah. We're fine.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. So,
Okay.
back in 2018, I was going
Mm-hmm.
through like a lot of health issues, and
What?
yeah, like my high blood pressure. I had a mild heart attack.
Oh goodness, brother! I
Yeah,
didn't know that, man. You should have shared.
I don't really. There's a lot of stuff I don't share, man.
Yeah.
So, um, they put me on the desk to work the desk, and that, believe it or not, is more stressful than anything because you just have a constant stream of people coming in asking for help, asking for this, asking for that, and you just can't help them fast enough, and they get pissed off at you. I got complaints from people on the desk because I was discourteous. I'm like, really, I'm just trying to get through everybody. It's a lobby full of folks, and for whatever reason, they like to leave me up there working on my own. So this went on for months, and I was just worn down. And this particular day, this guy comes in, and I had help at the desk, and all of a sudden I didn't. Everyone split. I was the only person working up there.
Literally every time.
There he is.
I know.
Hang on a second now. Whose voice is that? Is that? Speak to me, sir.
Stamp deal double. Always looking
Listen,
for a little trouble.
you didn't have to say your name. I know that voice. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I told fucking Apsher, man, like it's just you don't forget Stamper's voice. You don't forget some people's voices, man.
Well, it's always nice to be recognized. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh, you're recognized. Listen, you're recognized on more levels than you know. Good Lord, man. How's it going, Stamp? I haven't talked to you probably, I think, since Germany.
Yeah, I know it. It's been a while. Been a minute.
Yeah.
It's going good. It's just wide open. That's what I was telling. That's what I was telling No Sam. It's just oh man.
Yeah.
Just
Hey.
wide open.
So
life is not slow.
We're coming up on the 5-minute mark. We'll start the show there, and then Stamper, I'll just talk to you later about what we're talking about.
Yeah, go ahead. So what do? You got like that music stuff going on at the very beginning? Am I going to hear that, or is that just you that kind of gets all that set up?
I get that all set up, and here we go in 3, 2, 1. Hey, everybody! It is Tyree, Kevin, and this is our show. Before I forget, I'll remember the name this time again. We're on a streak.
Good job. How many is that? A couple?
Two.
Yeah,
that's I'll take it. And we have here Mr. Stamper.
Stamp deal double.
Yeah, Stamp Dog, as he is affectionately known.
AKA.
Yeah, man.
All right.
Bubble Company 126.
Yeah, go ahead and explain who you are so these people understand why we're all giddy and shit because you're here.
Well, and first of all, before you get into that, man, let's talk about like for a second how giddy we are that he's here.
Yeah.
Like, and I know we talked about it in the last episode with Rob, but like, there's just those people that when they're around, no matter how shitty the situation, it's automatically better, right?
Yep.
And Stamper, like I'm over here fucking brown nosing a bit, but like you're one of those dudes, man. Like you're one of those dudes when you're around. It doesn't matter how awful the situation is, how terrible it is, how cold it is, how dumb it is. Stamper's there. He's got some shit to say. He's always smiling.
Always smiling. Big old Kool-Aid smile.
Hell yeah, man.
Well, it could always be worse. It could always be worse is the way I look at it.
So. Yeah. So let's tell the people why it is, who it is, who are you?
Who you be? Who does you are?
Who even is you?
Be? Well, I'm Stamp deal double. All the way from Alabama. You got that wrong on the last one.
I knew it.
Yeah, it was you said Georgia.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, which I ain't got nothing against Georgia. I'd lived there, also. But I'm from the northwest corner of Alabama, a small town called Red Bay. And but now I live in Belmont, which is the northeast part of Mississippi. So I married a Belmontian or Mississippian. So that's where I reside right now. That's where we came back to, and I've been here ever since. Ever since got out of the military.
You've been in Mississippi this whole time?
Mississippi the whole time. Yeah, right on the northeast corner, close to Tupelo. And if people don't know where Tupelo is, that was the birthplace of the king of rock and roll, Elvis Presley. So,
oh yeah, it was.
Yeah.
That's not where Prince is from. But continue.
Okay. he said the king.
Yeah,
rock and roll. Yeah. You got the king of what
Emperor.
Was he, the king of, yeah. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
sorry to sidetrack. Continue.
No,
I couldn't allow the disrespect of Prince, but as you were.
No, it's just hey, I am who I am. Came from, like I said, the small town of Red Bay, Alabama. Shout out to the Alabama boys. and joined the military in March of 2002.
Why'd you join the military?
And, oh, well, I wish my story was as good as the other guys that's been on here. You know, of course, I was just getting in trouble the whole time, kind of on a downhill slide, as you could say, around the wrong crowd, always trying new things, and some of them new things got me into a few incidents, a few troubles in life. So I don't know. My mom and dad, they kind of begged me. Well, my mom especially, she was just like, you know, I wish you would join the military. I wish you'd join the military. And oh man, I thought the military was the dumbest thing a person could do at that time. This shows you how immature I was. I'm serious. I mean, I thought, you know, what's better than living in a small town and just getting jacked up every week? I mean, that's what I thought life was about. I was looking for the next party, and so yeah, she just kept on. I found myself in a few places I didn't want to be, and actually, it was the second time. This is kind of a testimony on my part, I guess. Back at that point in my life, that it was my second time in jail. I was in county jail in Franklin County Jail in Russellville, Alabama.
Damn, Stamp! I didn't know you did. I didn't know you did time.
Yeah, man, I got a story, brother. I mean, but we can only be on here for so long, I guess. But anyway, yeah, I was which I guess I was rowdy even after that. But I mean, before then, it was pretty bad, and I just found myself in a pretty bad spot, sticky spot in life that I wasn't, you know, kind of like some of the other stories of people. I just wasn't going anywhere, man. I didn't have any. I just didn't have any future. So I knew I needed to get away. Finally, that kind of come to my mind, and I was like, well, you know, maybe my mom's right. But before that, kind of give you a quick story of reason I thought the military and kind of my mindset about the military is that I had a buddy that had a friend, and he went to University of Alabama, and I don't know, he was a cool cat, man. I mean, you know, comfortable enough with my sexuality to say he looked like a daggum mannequin, man. And he just always had a new girl. Like every weekend, he was bringing it home back to Red Bay from Tuscaloosa. And I was just like, man, that guy's awesome. That's who you want to be like right there. And oh man, he all of a sudden we were sitting out on the back deck of his my friend's mom and dad's, and him and his buddies, they come in from Tuscaloosa, and they come in with shaved heads, and I was just like, what in the world, dude, are you
Just,
you know?
what are you trying to get me to join, buddy?
What'd you do to your hair, man?
I'm not a part of that kind of gang, bro.
He said, oh man, we joined the military, man. We're going to the army and all this. I was like, what have you done to your life, dude? Have you seriously thought about this? And yeah, I just thought it was stupid. I was like, he's throwing away the University of Alabama. He's throwing away of being a pimp daddy and all this stuff. And
Goddamn.
And I just thought it was crazy. And anyway, I found myself in a bad situation, and finally got to the point I thought, you know, I need to get away. So I joined the military, went to MEPS in fall of 2001. And then, March 2002, I found myself on a bus ride to Nashville, and then from Nashville on a plane flight to Charlotte, and then Charlotte to Fort Benning or Columbus, Georgia. And then we drove into Fort Benning, and that's kind of where the military started for me.
I'm gonna back you up a second. Whoa. You flying through, and I love it. But I need you to tell me question. Where were you on 9/11?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's another. Wish I had the story like some of the other guys. Some cool story. Oh, I was high as a cat, man. I was sitting on a couch in a double wide trailer of my buddy's girlfriend's parents that was kind of run down. It kind of shows you where I was in life, man, at this time.
Wow,
and,
man.
I was just sitting there, and we was high as a kite. And we, got done smoking a few, and turned on the news, and I saw it, and I was like, wow, look at that. That's pretty rough. But I just didn't. I didn't have a care, man. It shows you how selfish a person I was at that point.
But at that point, you had to have been signed up.
No, you're right.
No. This was
fall of
This
01,
was
right?
late fall. Yeah, late fall is when I went to
Okay.
MEPS, went to the recruiter and everything. Man, listen, I had to go. This is one thing that kind of pushed me that way. I mean, I found myself in AA meetings, drunk driver school, all this stuff, and just my mom and dad was just paying a lot of money out for me, which I didn't really realize at the time. Now I do as a parent and have actual responsibilities in life. And yeah, it was just I just didn't care. Even
So
9/11, man, when it happened, I was just kind of like, that's crazy. I hate that. It's just terrible.
So you're kind of
Never
one of
got
those
this one.
you're kind of one of those like success stories, dude. Like, like kind of a fucking nobody, you know what I'm saying? Like not going anywhere. Like your wheels aren't even spinning, you know what I'm saying? You're just like parked in the fucking, you're bogged down, nothing going on for you. But you're like, this is life. This is it. This is happiness because this is all it can ever be. And next thing you know,
Exactly.
you get to talking about like joining the military. Because from what I know of you now, man, like, you have a beautiful family, right? Y'all look like you're
Yeah.
very happy, very well
Very
off. You just came
blessed.
back. You just came back from a trip from New York.
We got to get into that too.
We will get into that because for people listening, you listen to way Stamper talks now. Imagine this man and his family, who I would imagine your kids all sound exactly like you and your wife. I can imagine y'all in New York City.
It was a trip. It was a trip for us. I mean, it was a trip for I guess everybody else too. But hey, everybody was really nice. Now, after we walked off, they could have been making fun of us for all I know.
Well,
but
damn well they heard the accent, and oh my god, these people exist. You know what I'm saying? It's whatever their version is. Oh, it's your heart. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's what I was doing there, man. That's what we was doing there. That's what I told Sabrina. I said, I just want to go take a bite out of the Big Apple for one time in my life, and never been there. And that's kind of the way we explained it to those people. And I said that we talked to, like people that we ran in at the hotel, some of the workers and everything. Oh, we could sit here and listen to you talk all day long. I was like, hey, I could sit here and listen to you talk all day long too, because you got a pretty cool accent too. But you just don't realize that stuff. I mean, if my accent's bad, then or pretty strong, then I can't imagine what people think of my wife, the country bumpkin that I got.
Dude,
I mean, she's
two things on that. I'll address the last one first. You're talking about your wife's accent. Like, so I remember we were in Germany, and one of the things that Tyree would always say to kind of mock your wife, so to speak, would she would always say like, honey, you want another bear? And he's like, what, a bear? Who's got a bear? No, a bear, huh? I'm asking for a bear. You know what I mean? Because it's so heavy. You know what I mean? But
she has a strong one.
Thinking back on it now,
because
I don't want Sabrina. I don't want her to be pissed off at me.
Oh
she knows. Come on, man.
She won't. She knows her accent. She gets it from everybody.
Hearing the accent now, I'm used to it. It's not as like outlandish as it was 20 years ago.
I don't know, man. There's still sometimes where I have to mock her myself. I mean,
right, and you got to think, man. You got to think like for Southern folk, we understand, we get it. Do you know what I mean? But like folks outside the South, I mean, and don't get me wrong, like, and you said she's from Mississippi. You said Belmont.
Belmont, yeah.
So
big town of Belmont.
She's right up the road from where you were from, right? Red Bay.
Exactly, 15-minute drive.
Yeah, man. But like, accents in that part of the world, in that part of the South, very different. You remember that? We had a kid from. He came to us. I'm not going to say his name because he went AWOL, and I don't want to put that out there. But y'all might remember him. It's like from deep South Georgia. Like
I do remember him.
Yeah, his accent was so bad. Sometimes we had to have a translator just for him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I do remember him.
Snaps. Yeah, I remember what you talking about.
I lost a lot of respect for that fella.
Yeah. I had to sit there and think about who you're talking about because I'm like, man, I had to get a translator. Oh, snaps.
Yeah.
Homeboy who is like Boomhauer.
Yep, exactly.
Scared to death.
Yeah, man. So that's the first thing though. Like, so even in the South, man, like, your wife definitely had a heavy ass accent, but that's that. You know what I mean? We get it. Yeah. But the first thing that I want to, the other thing that I wanted to address is you said you were even talking to hotel staff, having
Yes.
conversations with them, carrying on, blah blah blah. And I know Tyree and I've had this conversation a couple times since this event happened, but I remember one time he and I were on the phone. I'm from Arkansas, and our accent's not as heavy or as thick, right? We got a lot of Midwestern influence, but the principles and how slow things move is still the same. And so I'm at a gas station, right? And I told him, I was like, hang on a second, I got to pay for this, whatever I'm getting. And I had a mini conversation with this person at the gas station, and he was like, "What the fuck was that?" I was like, "What do you mean? What was that?" I was like, "Well," he's like, did you talk to that person?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude." Because that's how it is. You know what I mean? So when you say you're in New York City talking to the hotel staff, I can just imagine they ain't used to that. You know what I mean?
They may not be. I don't know. We walked up in there, and everybody's kind of giving you a look, and you almost want to, you kind of question yourself. Is it the way I'm dressed? I feel like I'm dressed like everybody else up here, but no, I think they just know, and it may be the deer in the headlights look that we have coming into places. Because first of all, it took us a while to find it. I mean, because we were real close to the right there in the center. I can't even think of the name of it now.
The center of New York.
Yes. The it's close to the north end.
You mean
the one's got it's got the big screens up in the on top of all the buildings Manhattan? And everything. Yeah, it's in Manhattan. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm talking about? It's got all the screens on the buildings, man. You walk out there, it's like
where they do the ball drop.
It's Times Square.
Times Square. There it is. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we're walking around, and they had everything blocked off. So we're trying to, my wife was driving. Bless her heart, she did pretty good actually. She's got a kind of a top A personality. I'm kind of a little bit more laid back, so I'm like letting a couple of days later as we're leaving, I'm letting people get in front of me. I'm motioning them. Go ahead. She's over there honking the horn, and she just like, I got this, son. And I'm like, oh man. I was like, we're definitely going to have a wreck. But anyway, we got out of there, alive, and
you made it.
It was a good trip though. Yeah, we went to Boston, went to Plymouth, we went all over the place. Went to Vermont. It was a good trip. Good trip.
Yeah. Damn, how long were you traveling?
10 days.
Oh man, that's a good trip.
Dang, yeah, that's a lot of ground covered in 10 days.
Yeah,
we try to do one every fall, just me and her. Leave the kiddos at the house and just have that, that husband and wife time, and
just speed away,
man,
as quickly as possible.
That doesn't surprise me about you, man. From what I remember about you and how you were with your wife and how you were with your marriage, that does not surprise me at all, man. Like that. You know what I mean?
You gotta have that alone time.
Yeah.
You gotta have it, especially when you got kiddos. You just need that time at least once a year.
Yeah.
And we started it back in 2017, and we started going to the beach, which I love, by the way, going to the beach and getting away. Mm-hmm. But she's decided, last year we went to Colorado and Utah, and that was a great trip too.
Where'd y'all go up there?
We went to Telluride. We flew into Denver and then worked our way up to Telluride. Went through Aspen, stopped in Aspen for a little while, and then Telluride. Though, I mean, that's a wonderful place. I recommend that to anyone. And we stayed there and went hiking for a few days, and which kind of surprises me. I mean, she's kind of on this high horse, about wanting to hike, and which, I mean, she's always been kind of outdoorsy. It was just surprising, but I was like, yeah, you have the itinerary set up, and I'll just, we'll just go wherever you want to go. So I'm kind of easy to please.
Mm.
So
where in Utah did y'all
go? Honestly, I can't even. It was, I don't know. I mean, I guess everywhere is pretty much canyons over there, but it was.
Sounds like Zion.
It was the national. Yeah, it was like the national parks over there. That's what we get mainly. So.
Probably Zion, if I had to guess, and Arches National Park in Moab. Yeah,
yes, Arches National
beautiful
Park.
place, man.
It was a beautiful place. I'd take Colorado any day over it, but it was still a nice place.
Yeah, for sure.
But I just like those mountains and everything.
Train conductor McGee over here sidetracking. Let's stick. We're going back to right after.
I hadn't talked in a while.
Yeah, man.
I know, man. Right after basic. Where'd you go?
Okay, so basic training in Fort Benning, Georgia, of course, because that's was the home of the infantry. I
Hang
mean,
on
I
a
guess
second.
is it still home of the
No,
infantry?
no,
Or
no.
okay.
It's the Joint Maneuver Center of Excellence or some bullshit. But like, why did you join the infantry?
There you go.
Because you
Well,
you talk about like the army, right? Like army's for dum dums, blah blah blah. But then you join the infantry, right? And according to the rest of the army, we're the dum dums, right? It's like
We are.
what?
Again, I was high as a kite when I took the ASVAB, so my score wasn't real high. I mean, I just went in
Yeah.
there and I was just there and started marking answers, and I didn't expect a lot from it, so I was just kind of like whatever. I didn't care, man. I mean, I
Yeah.
really didn't care, and I honestly didn't want any type of responsibility. I just so the recruiter's just like, hey man, you got this grade, and I was just kind of like, okay, I don't know what that means, but he's just like, well, what do you like to do? And I was like, well, I like to exercise, I like to work out, I like to pick up a outside basketball game every now and then. I just like outdoor stuff, sports. He's like, oh yeah, man, you'll love the infantry. It's all about kind of stuff like that. I was like,
Oh
oh, that
man.
sounds that's cool.
Got
So
Yeah.
if you think that's
You
where I need to
got him.
go, let's do it. Oh yeah, he had me hooked. He had me
Hell
hooked
yeah.
pretty quick. But like I said, man, I didn't care. I just needed to get away. And honestly, I mean, the military was great for me at that time because I had the DUI, but I had to wait for that for a while to come off till I was 25 because I had to sign a waiver for that. But everything else that I didn't know the military would do this when I first signed up or even thought about it. But they just wiped my slate clean.
Yeah.
And speeding tickets, possession, I mean, everything. And I was just like, that's pretty cool. I mean, the recruiter walked up into the county courthouse with me like a beast and just, had all these papers and pushed them across and they signed off. And he was like, hey, man, it's going to be, till you're 25 to get that DUI, but, it'll it'll kind of take care of itself. And I was like, okay, cool.
Damn.
So, yeah, so I found myself, that's just who I was, man. I mean,
How old were you?
let's see, I was 20-year
Okay.
old. Yeah, just a kid.
And
And
where were you and your wife like at that point? Had y'all met?
yes, I was she was going to a community college. I was just going, oh man, I was just hanging out with a couple of friends that were actually going to that community college called Northeast Community College, and it's in Boonville, Mississippi. And I would just go up to their apartment because I knew I was leaving, right? So I mean, I had a few months to kind of spare because the recruiter told me, hey, it's going to be March. I don't know, man. I think this was like November, December, something like that. And I was just kind of like, okay, cool. It's time to go party. So here I am with a suspended license, so I couldn't drive anywhere. I had to get somebody to come get me. But yeah, they just take me up to the apartments up in Boonville at the community college where my buddies roomed, and I just stayed there. I just kind of hung out. And my wife was friends. Well, actually, she was a girlfriend of one of the guys, and that's a long story. But anyway, she was over there one night. We're having a party and everything, just kicking it. And some things happened, and it kind of took up for her. And it, I don't know, it just kind of played out like it was supposed to, I guess. And we just
Yeah.
started seeing each other and got pretty close. And she was just the last night before I shipped off, or took the bus off anyway. She, we had a good conversation. I was just like, listen, I don't know what's going to happen, but da 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 all this. And she's like, we were basically just in love, man. I mean, we just hit it off. And so I go to basic training in March, and I just all the way through basic training, I continue writing her letters back and forth. And finally, about 2 months into it, I finally sober up, and I was kind of like on a fire guard one night. I guess it's about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. You know how they do in basic training. They
Mm-hmm.
have you on the fire guard. You got you buff in the barracks or something like that. But anyway, you have time to write those letters, and finally, it kind of dawned on me, man, you might want to think about the future of your life and maybe with someone. So I was like, you know what? If she hangs with me through this, then I'm just going to ask her to marry me. And so yeah, we made it to the end of basic training. She actually came to my basic training ceremony and turning blue ceremony and everything. And oh man, it was so good to see her. And got home. Her parents didn't think a lot of me because they knew who I was. And
Damn, you're that
Yeah.
rap. You're that rapscallion.
Yeah.
oh man, They did not want me in their house. But I put on the Class Bs. I
Mhm.
was, it's like June. Oh no, it's July actually. And so I got my Class Bs on. I come back from doing the recruiter thing that day, and I go talk to her father and Johnny Mack, which is her father. Very intimidating man. Just a great guy though. But anyways, I went up. I actually talked to her mother first. Took her out to eat. So, and she was like, "You need help with the father," and I was like, "Yes, ma'am. If you don't mind, that's what I need help with." So I took her out to eat and asked for her hand in marriage. And then my father-in-law, he's a big drag race, dragster kind of guy, and he takes me up there with her brother to a drag strip. And right in the middle of pushing the car up to the line, I just thought it was the best time to do it. So he was like, "I heard you want to talk to me," and I was like, "Yes, sir." And so we started talking, and yeah, he gave me the go ahead. So yeah, I don't want to go too far into it. I know we got so much time. So, but anyway, yeah, it just turned out the way it's supposed to.
Well, I kind of want to touch
Automobiles
on a couple of
are
things.
pivotal.
Yeah, for sure. No, but there's a couple of things I want to kind of touch on. Like for those that listening that aren't familiar, so like fire guard and basic training, right? It's called fire guard. So
Yeah.
your role is to, if something should break out in the building, an emergency of some type, you've got somebody awake to wake everybody else up. So that's kind of the point in fire guard for those that aren't familiar. But another thing that I kind of want to address is the proper route. Now, I will say the classical or the traditional proper route that you went to ask before you ask your wife to marry you, because that's not something that you hear very much of. Do you know what I mean? And I, that's how I was raised. You know what I'm saying? Like anytime I ever was with a girl, it always came down to like, well, man, I got to talk to the dad first. Now, I was married one time back in the day, and we did not do it that route. And oh man, I thought I was gonna get murdered, like straight up buried in the back 40, murdered.
Be like, man, knuckle up, man. I love her.
Yeah. No, man. No. This guy. So no lie, dude. So we got married. This is a little off topic. But we got fucking married, and then like we told her family like 2 weeks later that we got married. Right. So my first time meeting her dad, I'd met him a couple times beforehand. My first time meeting him after she and I got married, and Tyree, you met him.
Yeah.
He was dressing a deer, right? He had it hung up from a tree, nighttime, right?
Classic.
And he was, exactly, dude, like exactly, like what you would see in the movies, whatever. Like he cutting it open, pull the guts out of it. You know what I'm saying? And it got to that point, like he dropped it on the ground, and at this point, we're skinning it. And so he didn't say nothing for like the first 10 minutes. He's just like, "Tell me what to do." You know what I mean? And finally, he's like, "So, my daughter, huh? Y'all went ahead and did it. Didn't tell none of us." I was like, "Son of a bitch, man! Here it goes. I'm about to die. I'm about to be buried wherever the guts of these deer." Yeah, something, man. But so I kind of want to point out like who you were before you joined and how you were to the point where you're after the fact, where you're like, I got to talk to the mom first, and then I got to talk to the dad, and then like, okay, sir, yeah, yes, sir, no, sir, you know what I mean, and then.
Oh, I'm still that way today with him. I'm telling you, he's a great guy, man.
Yeah,
we couldn't ask for better in-laws. So they've been a blessing. Had a lot of patience with us, but yeah, that's the way. That's just the way she was raising a very well respected family, and that was basically. I just want to do it right. I mean, we were crazy about each other, so I think it was going to happen regardless. But you want the blessings from them, and it always makes the wedding a little bit easier and better. So
for sure.
But the thing is, I mean, just a shout out to that family. I mean, they have taken me in times that I really don't need to be taken in, and just been a blessing, man. So it's been,
so journey. And one other question I got to ask you, because I know Tyree, I'm sorry, Tyree, I don't mean to like keep putting your question off, but like this one is kind of important to me. I feel like from your mentality of the military, and folks that joined it, blah blah blah, and how you thought it was dumb, to
Yes.
when you turned blue, the turning blue ceremony, which for those listening who don't know what that is, when you join the infantry and you complete all of your basic training and your infantry training, we have our turning blue ceremony where the drill sergeants put on our blue cord. We're the only branch or the only job within the Army that wears a blue cord and blue discs behind our lapel pins to differentiate us from the other people in the Army. It's a very special moment for us, and it's one of my proudest moments in the Army. I still have my original blue cord.
Yep.
So what so tell me how that was for you though. Because that, I mean, again, military's dumb. Turning blue. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, it was a great experience. I mean, after getting through those weeks, and okay, first of all, y'all talked about the 30th AG before and other podcasts. I was there for 21 days in 30th AG, so you can imagine the testosterone and everything rising with the 20-year-olds, 19-year-olds. Oh man, fire's breaking out. Standing in a chow hall for an hour and a half, the chow hall line. You move up, go to parade rest, move up, go to parade rest, move up, go to parade rest. It was. I mean, if nothing else, I definitely gained patience in 30th AG because you're not doing any PT because they don't want you doing anything. You might get hurt before you even go down to basic training.
Right.
So anyway, so yeah, I was there for 3 weeks, and then finally we get moved down downrange, as they call it everywhere in the military or the Army or the infantry anyway. And so we go down. I was in Delta 119. Give a shout out to them.
Candyland.
And yeah, we were the Rough Riders. The Rough Riders. Yeah, it was pretty cool. But we, going through all that and going through basic training, I guess one of the biggest things it does, it builds confidence in you, first of all. But second of all, the accomplishment of something that, that's kind of physical, definitely mental. When you get to that, you're proud, man. I mean, I always told people this right here. This sounds kind of weird, but I don't know why it felt this way. And nothing against anyone because it's not like they were. But when, I had my mom put the blue cord on, of course. She was the one I designated for that because me and Sabrina at the time, we were just dating. So we didn't really know where it was going to go exactly. I kind of had a mindset of where I wanted it to go. But anyway, I remember when I first seen them, when they came up and they give you that moment, those moments after the turning blue ceremony, right before you go, like we went to Columbus and ate and everything, you had to be back at a certain time. But anyway, I was just kind of like, looking at my parents and all them, I was just kind of like, man, y'all look dirty. I don't know why. It was very odd. I don't know why dirty came to my mind, but I was like, you don't look clean. And the reason I feel like it was like that is that you've went through that many weeks, whether 13, 14 weeks, and you're pretty much just drinking water. I mean, we were given like a Saturday here and there after the first 9 weeks of basic training before you go into the AIT. We were given Gatorade. That was like our reward was Gatorade, and it wasn't much. I mean, it was just like a couple hours you got, and so I think the body was just cleansed, man, through the physical training, through pretty much drinking water the majority of the time, unless you went to the chow hall, maybe got some like orange juice or milk, but which wasn't very often either. But anyway. I don't know. I don't know how to explain. I don't know why the word dirty came to mind, but I was like, y'all need to wash up. You need to fix up a little bit better. And then, Coach, I mean, you got your head, I don't know if it's because you're so used to everybody with the head shaved, and everybody being in uniform and being, dressed tight or what it was, but it was something like that. So I don't know if that makes sense to y'all, but that's kind of the way I always explained it.
Your eyes were opened up and everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Oh man.
Everything was different suddenly.
It was, but it was definitely a great feeling to have that accomplishment. So, I was proud to go home. I mean, you come out of it, you're a different person. There's no doubt about it. You may not be a Marine, nothing against the Marines. I always said they was kind of brainwashed in a way. But, I mean, seriously, because I remember seeing them at Camp New York. I mean, I saw their tactics. But anyway, yeah, that's just, yeah, it was a good feeling. So I was proud.
Yeah, man, that's awesome.
All right.
And not to knock the Marines, because we do have some Marine listeners, and
Yeah,
you guys
definitely.
are amazing. I know, I absolutely love the Marine Corps, man. Like, because they are like Loctite. You know what I'm saying? Like, they are on point. They are very different from how we operate, but like an absolute necessity to the total force.
Oh,
like,
definitely, man.
gotta love the
Definitely.
Marine Corps, man.
I got buddies
All right.
that were, ex-Marines. So, yeah, more power to them.
I know a bunch
Yeah.
of Marines that still eat crayons. I don't want to sit here and be all friendly. It's Army all day, infantry gang. What? Now
right.
what?
Yes.
Here
Yeah.
I am. Anyway, so
Yeah.
continue. We are done with basic, and we're heading over to Germany.
Going to Germany, yeah. So
Woo.
kind of like
Small
what
town
Sergeant Major.
Alabama to Germany.
Yes. Germany. I was thinking like the leaves are going to be purple or something when I got over there. But
What the fuck?
anyway, yeah. I mean, I even kind of made that remark to my parents when and everybody when they called me. They was like, "How is it?" I was like, "Well, the leaves are purple," and they're like, "What?" And I was like, "Oh no, man, I'm just joking. I mean, yeah, it's nice over here." Anyway, it was that was a trip. I came over with a guy that I had went to basic training with. You kind of got that battle buddy they stick you with, as they call it within basic training. His last name was Sparrows. I don't know if y'all remember Sparrows. He was in 3rd platoon. Yeah, Sparrows. So he was my battle buddy in basic training. We came over to Schweinfurt, so we fly into Schweinfurt, and we're there for I believe it was 3 nights, and it was because I think it's because we came on a Friday, and they were just like, not working. I mean, they were like, we're shutting down. It's the weekend. Y'all just gonna have to stay here. And I was like, oh, dude.
Amen.
There's like, here's the rule: you can't go off base. And I was like, that is not happening, bro. So anyway,
No way.
we found a
No.
little escape. Yeah, I mean, seriously, I was not about to just sit in there, and I was like, I got to go out and experience this. So anyway, we went out and went through Frankfurt. It's Frankfurt. Maybe I said Schweinfurt again. We flew into Frankfurt, so we're in Frankfurt, and we we get a taxi. We actually cross the street from the base and go to a bar, and we kind of get through to the German guy that, hey, we're looking for a ride. And he was like, yeah. So they call us one. We head downtown or head down in the middle of the city of Frankfurt. And there's like a festival going on, which there's like one going on every day in Germany. So anyway, so we grab a couple of brewskis and we're walking around. I'm just like, man, this is pretty cool. This is crazy. And all of a sudden I look over and there's like this 14-year-old boy drinking a Smirnoff Ice. I'm like, well, you don't see that every day. I'm like, what?
That's
anyway,
yeah.
I said, well, I guess that's the way they do it over here. So we make our way across the bridge to I wanted to get this name right, man. The street in Frankfurt. It's kind of like a Bill Street or a Bourbon Street for Frankfurt. Is it called Sexton? Anyway, it's a street, man, of just straight up bars. So we found ourselves on that street, and then that turned into a bad evening. We found our way back, but anyway, Sparrows kind of got off. He kind of got off track, and So, anyways, we get done with that. I have that experience. We make it back. We drive into Schweinfurt. So we pull into Schweinfurt, and y'all are in Kosovo at the time. So this is in August of 2002. And we get there, and I think the first person that I came in contact with, which was my company commander, which was just an E5 sergeant.
Yeah.
Named Sergeant Sturkey. Don't know if y'all remember Sergeant Sturkey.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Sergeant Sturkey. What a trip. But anyway.
Yeah, that guy was something else, man.
I love him. He was a good dude.
Stefan Sturkey. So anyway, that's the first guy I ran into. He's kind of telling us, what the procedures are and everything. We were actually in the barracks of the headquarters. We was at the headquarters barracks, so it wasn't too bad. It was actually kind of clean, and it was all right. It was down there towards the end. I don't know if y'all remember where the headquarters barracks were, but they were towards the end of the base. So we get in there, and we're getting all our stuff unpacked and everything. He's giving us all the rules and all that, and so there's, everything's kind of fades over time. So I don't know how I come in contact. I mean, I know we lined up in formation the next morning, which a formation of a company, what is it supposed to be, like 150 guys, 200 guys in a formation?
Yeah, 120 to 150, thereabout, yeah.
Okay, 120, 150. Okay, there were 7. There were 7 in the whole company. And then within that 7 was me, Eric Howell, now Sergeant Major, which I got to throw a shout out to Rob, man. That's awesome. I'm proud of you, brother. So Rob Absher, Eric Howell, Stern. Y'all remember Stern from third platoon?
Yeah.
Okay, he was there. Sparrows was there, of course. And I want to say Snyder. Yeah, Snyder was there. Yeah, Snyder.
Yeah.
He was there with us, and probably leaving some guys out. But anyways, that's the ones I remember. Not vaguely, but I remember them. We went out that evening, the very first day, and oh man, it was outstanding. Schweinfurt was great. I mean, we there was no one there. I mean, it was quiet. The National Guard was there actually pulling security on Leadwood Barracks. So that kind of shows you. So yeah, we go out in the city and everything, and have a couple of brewskis and wind up. And I want to clarify something. Rob said that Michael Jackson, Thriller. It was not Thriller, man. It was Billie Jean. I don't know what it was, but as soon as I heard Billie Jean come on, it's like a trance I went into.
Oh yeah.
And it's just like, it's time to hit the floor. So anyway, yeah, we went out, and we're dancing, having a good time, throwing the sideways moonwalk out. I guess y'all could imagine that. But anyway, throwing that out there, and finally, man, over time, we just we became known as those guys that went out and were either dancing or starting trouble, and even the bouncers. It's pretty sad, man, when the bouncers get to know your name. Stamp up, and I was like, oh man,
yeah.
I'm not.
No.
Anyway,
So,
yeah, that was...
so I gotta say, even in 2003, when we were all in Germany, one of the one of the DJs at the Rock Fabrique knew me, Love, Mike Griffin, Meat, Mike Grigorowitz, knew all of us, right? Matter of fact, Love is still friends with him on Facebook. Olaf is his name. Olaf. Yeah, man. Yeah. Still around, man. Cool. Still in contact with that guy. That dude would play whatever song we wanted to, no matter how drunk we were. Just a straight up like good dude, metalhead. You know what I'm saying? He was in the back part of the Rock. You know what I mean? Where the good music was played.
The good music, yeah.
Forgot about Olaf.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Olaf, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't remember their names, but yeah, they pretty much play anything you wanted. I mean, especially if you made an idiot out of yourself. They were all up for that spectacle. But which I did on a nightly basis. But anyway, yeah, we were there doing that, and I guess about a month later, I think Sergeant Sturkey came up to us. He was like, "Listen, we got to send two of y'all to Kosovo." And I'm just like, "Oh goodness, man! We'll kind of go shallow on this." But he just anyway,
spicy.
Yeah, I was just like, I don't know about that, Sergeant. He's like, "You'll do what I say." And I was like, well, of course. So me and Stern found our way found ourselves on the way to Kosovo. And, I did not want to go because we was having a good time, man. I mean, we was just drinking all the time, and there was just no one around. It was just like, I don't know how to explain it. It was pretty fun. But we found ourselves going there, and it's mainly because everybody else, some of the guys had command sponsorship. They were waiting for their stuff to come over, be shipped, and also waiting for their wives to come. So Rob and all them stay there, and Eric, and it's me and Stern, and we're kind of talking. We're just like, oh man, what do you think about this? And he's like, oh, I don't know, man. We just do it like we have been doing ever since we signed up. And I said, yeah, yes, you're right. So I want to bring this up. So within that time period before we first got to Schweinfurt and before we come to Kosovo, there was a night. I don't remember which bar it was at, but Sergeant Bloom and Sergeant Gill had come back to Schweinfurt. And I think it was a time something was going on with Sergeant. Is it Sergeant Bloom? Am I getting that right?
Yeah.
Sergeant Bloom.
Yeah.
Okay. Him and Sergeant Gill, I think, were pretty close. So they had come back, and me and the guys, we were just out. I didn't know who was who, and they're sitting at this table at this bar, and I didn't know who they were or anything. They were in civilian clothes. I guess they just chilling out before Sergeant Bloom had to head off. I think he had some type of emergency or something he was going back for. But anyway, all I could see, man, I spotted like a fifth of Jack sitting right there in the middle of the table, and that's all I could see was a fifth of Jack. And I was like, yeah, that's for me. So I start walking towards their table, and they're looking at me, and honestly, I vaguely remember this, but I do remember getting told this the next morning. So I go over there, and I'm just like, hey, I'm going to take some of your Jack. And they're just like, no, you're not. So I just grab the neck, man, and I just turn it up.
No.
So I don't remember anything after that. So the next morning, all the guys were just kind of like, Stanford, man, what'd you do? And I said, I don't even know what you're talking about. And they said, yeah, you're Jack, man. And they said, this Sergeant Gill's looking for you. And I was like, well, what did I do? Because if I don't know and don't remember, then there's no reason for anybody to be mad at me. Yeah. And anyway,
that's how that works. That's how that works.
I don't remember it. It didn't happen.
Yeah. If I don't remember, it didn't happen. So anyway, I'm going back. Formation's over for the day. I'm going back. I thought I had kind of blown this off and kind of got away with with whatever. But I had disrespected them apparently and taken their Jack. So, and I don't think I took it all. I think I just took some of it. But anyway, so I'm going back to headquarters.
I didn't take it all, just some of it.
Yeah. So
it's a little taste.
I hear this. Hey, private. And I was just like, man, what? It's Sergeant Gill, which I didn't know who Sergeant Gill was at the time. So anyway, he's like, listen. He was like, what you did last night was not cool. And I was like, well, Sergeant, all due respect, I really don't remember much about it. He said, well, we understand that, and we just want you to know it was not cool, but, we're going to kind of let you slide with it. And I was like, okay, well, that's cool, man. I was like, got my face. But anyway, so I'm walking back to headquarters.
No.
So anyway, now listen, I know Sergeant Gill might hear this, but anyway, he might remember that. I don't know. But anyway, so we're heading to Kosovo, and we get to Kosovo, and of course they split me and Stern up. So I'm standing in this gravel between these buildings, and they said, "Hey, your squad leader will come and get you here in a few minutes." Well, the very first thing I hear, "Hey, numbnuts!" Man, I turn around, and I kid you not, man, my daggum squad leader is Sergeant Herb Gill, man. He's standing there looking at me with this look, and I'm just like, oh, goodness, it's over. It's over. I mean, the rest of my military time is going to be terrible. But anyway, so I go over there, Roger Sergeant, and give my respect like I should. And, everything went cool. And he told me what team I was in, which was Sergeant Lieb. Lieb was my team leader at the time, and cool guy, man. He was a cool guy to us, and helped me out actually to be able to go home and get married. If it wouldn't have been for me going to Kosovo, I would not have got the block leave with y'all guys, because so it's kind of like one of those things, like I keep saying, it's just meant to be, just meant to happen. Yeah. So Sergeant Lee, he was like, listen, I'm going to fill this out. You can go home and get married. I was like, oh, that's great, man. And so I got married in December of 2002. And the best thing was, though, is that I didn't realize before I went, I was just kind of like, I don't want to go over there with those guys and stuff. But hey, getting to come over there and meet with y'all, be with y'all, definitely helped me out of just becoming one of y'all. Y'all just kind of pulled me in, and it's just like, hey, you're one of us now, and here's how we roll. And when we got back to Germany, I was so glad that I finally I came to Kosovo, because I was not treated like some of the other 5 guys got treated when everybody got back. So I was like, oh, this is nice.
Yeah. I remember when we got back, dude, like, this is, our first deployment. It's a peacekeeping deployment, right? But we feel like we did something. And, and not to discredit people who've only done peacekeeping deployments, because it is still, I mean, you're away from your known, you're away from your family, you're away from your things. You are in a foreign place. So there's a lot to navigate there. But I do remember when we came back, man, and it was those cherries that were back there, dude. Like we were pretty harsh on, man. I gotta say, dude, I gotta say, for you grabbing a hold of Sergeant Major Gills, and Sergeant Bloom's Jack, and doing with it as you please, and him the next day being like, I'm gonna let this slide, but just know.
Yeah, he was cool about it. Cool about it.
I mean, because for folks listening, man, like, Tyree and I may have talked about this before, but like Sergeant Gill would terrorize us in the mornings, right?
Yes.
Like kicking on our doors, balls early. Wake up! It's time for PT. We got to go run 15 miles and not minus 447 degrees Kelvin, and fuck your life. This is what we're doing, right? An hour before we even have to have a formation for PT. But like,
I used to think, man, this dude's a psychopath, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah, legitimately.
I have no respect for him now.
I don't know, man. This dude's nuts.
if you're listening, Sergeant Major Gill, like, I was scared to death of you. I might still be a little bit. Yeah.
It wasn't a fear thing. It was just like, man,
it was all
Listen,
of it, man.
If I would have known who they were, I would have not disrespected them that way. But first of all, I wasn't in the world. Second of all, they didn't have any rank on, so I didn't know who was who. And I just saw a bottle of Jack.
Yeah, community Jack, man. Community Jack.
That's right. There was too much of that for them too, anyway.
You're just helping them out.
That is funny.
Yeah.
So I get I'm in Kosovo and everything, and one of the first people that I meet that kind of brought me in is, your own there, Tyree No Sound Brown in the house. He he kind of took me under his wing, I guess you could say. And I remember I remember one thing that you had there. I think the Washington Wizard cheerleaders had visited. It was some cheerleader squad or something had visited pretty close to that time.
Yeah.
And Brown's like, we're sitting on I think we're on cots or something in there. But anyway, he's just like, I said, I don't know what we're talking about, but he's just like, hey man, I got this glove. I was like, all right, you got a glove. He's just like, take a whiff of this. And I remember smelling it. I was like, oh man, that's good stuff. It smelled like perfume. And I don't know what glove it was or how the smell got on there or what it was. But anyway, you had perfume on your glove and it smelled great. And I do remember that. That's one of the things I remember about Kosovo.
That is the most random ass story.
Yeah, it's very random, but that's just one of those things that sticks in my mind.
Tyree, we need an explanation of this fucking glove, bro.
All right. I remember the cheerleaders showed up. We were all excited for that, I guess.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was just women. I didn't give a crap who it was. I wanted to see them. So I think I went in for a hug while wearing the glove, and I'm like, damn, I'm wearing this glove. I took off the glove, and then I hugged her again because I'm like, I'm not trying to scratch you up with this fucking glove I'm wearing.
Yeah, and for sure, absolutely.
What a gentleman.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I try and I care. So we later on, pictures are taken, and I know that there's pictures around here somewhere of that whole thing. And later on, I'm in my room, and I'm looking through my pockets, and I come across the glove. I'm like, man, it smells like the girl. Like she must have just sprayed a bunch of perfume on. and I should touch exactly where it was at.
Right, for
like,
sure.
all right, well, I got a fucking souvenir, man, freebie.
You did.
It worked out.
You were very proud of it.
I was.
And so you saw Stamp Deal Double just sitting there being like, "Hey, man,
I got this glove, bro.
I got this glove."
I
I
got
don't
this
know
glove.
what it probably wasn't like that. It was some conversation, man. But it was funny. It's just I don't know. It's odd. It's just one of them things that stands out. I don't understand why that stuck in my mind. But anyway, it did. I guess y'all
Somebody
really
borrowed that
understand
glove.
this.
I never
I
saw
bet.
it again.
I bet.
I never saw
Y'all
it
are going
again.
to
It was
kind of
gone.
understand this, that when you're deployed or when you're at certain places in life, there's I always tell people this. There's two things that always kind of connect you back to that time of your life. It's smells and music.
Mhm.
You know, one of those two
Oh, yeah.
things will always bring you back to a certain point in your life. So that maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's just that smell and everything. So yeah, that's one of the
Well,
things that stood out.
a lot of memory, not to get like, brainy or whatever, but like memory is most associated with the smell of places or the smell of things. So like the smell of things jars or triggers more memory than
Yeah.
anything else. Like I bet you to this day, if you could smell that same perfume or whatever it was, it would be like, I know that smell, man. I know
Yeah.
that smell.
Guarantee it.
So, or even still, when you do have a memory, like one of the things that stands out to you the most is the smell of a place or
Yes.
thing or person or whatever. Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Yeah. So, okay. All right, man. So we did Kosovo. You did a bit of it, and we're back in Germany. You go home and you marry your wife.
Yeah.
Big event, great event, December 2002.
Yes.
Y'all been
December
married ever
2002.
since, right? Shit, y'all are on y'all coming up in 19 years then, huh?
That's right. That's right. That 20 years right around the corner. So we're gonna do something big. She said we are. I don't know what it's gonna be. She's always got something in mind, something up her sleeve. So I can't wait to see what it is.
Red Lobster.
But oh man, yeah, we'll hit that Red Lobster up.
Golden Corral, all you can eat, baby.
Okay, so yeah, back sidetracking again, man. You
So
we're
yeah,
back
I
at
gave my E3 because I came to Kosovo, guys.
yeah, you
That's the
did.
only
I
reason I
remember
got
that.
my E3. Yeah, I got my E3 in Kosovo. So
You made a good point about going with us and being in Kosovo. That was really good for you and us because, like you said, when we got back, we didn't really know those other guys so much.
it helped me
And
out tremendous.
whenever we did things, and I kind of felt bad for it, I think I ended up reaching out to the other new guys later on. Like we would go to somebody's house to barbecue and we would invite Stamper. We wouldn't invite the other guys. And I'm like, man, we need to get these dudes in here because, regardless of how I feel about this person, I don't have any ill feelings. I just don't know them. I don't want them to be left out. And that's how we kind of integrated the new folks in. And that year, 2003, was all the way crazy. So,
Well, that's where we all gained our close relationship before we went to Iraq, man, was 2003. I mean, if it would have been for 2003, we wouldn't have had the close relationship like we did in 2004. So,
and that is interesting because we've talked about it with Mike before, with Griff before, but like, we talk about like our previous deployment to Kosovo and then being together for, the time before that and time after that or whatever. And we attribute that to our successes while deployed to Iraq. But I mean, you came in at the end of Kosovo. So you really weren't there for like the bulk of the deployment. You really weren't there for like the time before that, like our 2-month field rotation that Tyree showed up during. And yet still, like, I mean, you talk about like 2003. Like, I mean, honestly, like I think 2003 was like the year that definitely like sealed in like how well things were going to go for the following year. Like for
there's
sure.
no doubt about it, man. There's no doubt about that. I think any guy listening to this will agree with that. So
yeah. So if you feel like you were left out, it's probably because you didn't get in on none of the stuff going on in 2003. And that's not to sound, that's not even a joke. Like, to be honest, that's 100%. Like, if you found yourself in the room in the barracks by yourself in 2003 while all that crazy shit was going on, And
No,
then
that's true. Yeah.
and then you don't see yourself in posts about things, and people leave you out of stuff, not to be fucked up or mean, because that's not the case at all. It's just you weren't there. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, I mean that's really true because you
Yeah,
think about like,
true.
dude, like in 2003, bro, like we were, we were out there drinking in Schweinfurt, and everything revolves around drinking. But we were out there drinking in Schweinfurt, drinking in Würzburg, drinking in Frankfurt, drinking at the Goff's house, drinking at the gazebo behind the barracks, drinking in Aspen
Yeah.
Manors at somebody's place. You know what I'm saying? Pulling out a guitar.
That's good, man.
Doing something. You know what I'm saying? We were doing something because we knew, man, like this could be our last full year of life, of living, of hanging out with people we care about. This could be it. So, yeah. I mean, Tyree, that's a really good point though. And you're right. And it's not to be fucked up towards those people. It's just,
That's
man,
just how
like
things worked out.
It's just
Like
the way it is.
that's when the bond was created. Yeah.
If you weren't a part of it, then you weren't a part of it, and it showed in some cases. Unfortunately, later on, because again, that whole time we sat around waiting was crazy. I got a million stories. Stamper on me, and I got a story with me and you.
Sure.
Man,
Figure there's a few of them.
so we need to pick up Stamper's wife from Frankfurt Airport.
Oh goodness!
Okay,
I'd imagine he
Middle
knows.
2003.
I do not have a license, and Stamper is drunk.
That was a bad time.
That was a bad time, man.
Yeah,
That was like dark times, like straight up.
that was a dark day.
So Stamper's like, "Hey, Brown, I need you to drive me down to Frankfurt to get to pick her up." I'm like, "Oh man, I don't know how to drive to Frankfurt, and I don't have a license." So I'm like, "But I can't leave you hanging because you're my boy." So
This had been an all-nighter, man. We had pulled an all-nighter.
all-nighter.
Yeah, I was supposed to
man.
be up at a certain time and be on the road, and I wasn't.
We just didn't sleep. We just went right through it. And
Yeah, we did.
ooh boy, it was rough. Anyway, I'm like, man, I can't leave my boy hanging. And I'm like hitting up people like, hey, could you drive Stamper to the airport? I'll pay for gas. Like, hey, could you do this? Like, hey, they're like, I don't know him like that, man. I'm like, man, you know him like this. Help me out, please. Don't leave my boy
It's
hanging.
Stanford.
It's
Just somebody
Stamp.
help this guy out.
It's Stamp Deal Double G, man. Always
He's
on the scene.
still drunk.
Help him out. Yeah.
Oh man.
So eventually, I'm like, all right, well, this ain't gonna work out, man. I gotta do it. Like, hopefully, I don't get fucking pulled over, which would have been a fucking nightmare.
Yes.
But, ooh boy, so I'm driving, and you had that red BMW that everyone had.
Sergeant Duel. I got that Sergeant
That
Duel.
everyone had.
Yeah. It was kind of
Everybody
like
had
red, half pink. Yeah. Like
yeah,
a
the
Barbie
sun
car.
had worn it down. So like it was nice.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. It was cool for what it was, but everyone had it at one point or another. And you had it at this particular point. So we drove that damn thing all the way down to Frankfurt, man. Playing music the whole way. Probably
Now listen, Frankfurt was 2.5 hour drive.
Yeah,
3 hour
man.
drive?
Yeah. I'm like, we got to do it. We can't leave her hanging. I can't leave you hanging. We're family now. So we're riding, and man, so we get to Frankfurt, get to the airport, and I don't know how many times I had to loop around that damn thing. You're on the phone with her, trying to get her to explain where she is. I'm starting to get the attention of police because they keep seeing me circling this place a million times. I'm like, I don't have
the airport.
Yeah, 38 times. I'm like, I don't have a license. I'm screwed. Like, if they stop me, man, I'm done. Eventually, like, you snapped out of your drunken stupor, and we pull over, and I talked to Sabrina on the phone, and
you helped me out, I think. On that.
Yeah, I got her to calm down because she was at 11 pissed because we were late.
She was irate, bro.
Yeah,
she was irate. Yeah.
And eventually, you took over driving. I navigated you to where we needed to go, and we got her. But man, that was a cold car ride home, man.
That was a cold car ride. That was a bad airport seen.
Yeah.
While what Tyree didn't see while he's driving around, the whole reason he's driving around is waiting for us to come out. The thing
Yeah.
is that I can't get her out of the airport because she's so mad at me. So what had happened is that I made it to the terminal to where she was supposed to come out to, but the
Mhm.
problem is I was at the wrong terminal. So, and I think we might have been like an hour late or something. But anyway, and I'm not even wearing my clothes, man. I'm wearing Sergeant Sturkey's shirt. It's like this disco looking kind of shirt that I wouldn't wear normally. So it's like a bright color, and it's like silky. So, and oh
It just
man,
did not look good at all, man.
it was not a good look for me. And so the whole time you're driving around like I'm getting paged, and I'm like, where do I go? They're paging me, but I don't know where to go, And so finally, I found the guy that's been paging me, and he said, "Your wife, And I was like, "Yeah, I'm looking for her. Where's she at?" He was like, "Well, she's over there at that term." I was like, "Oh man." So when I saw her and she saw me, oh man, that was not good. She was crying. Oh, that was a bad day. That was bad. I'm telling you, dude, I have the most wonderful wife that anyone could possibly have, because I mean she has forgiven me at times where I did not deserve any forgiveness, because I'm telling you, that was a bad day. But
Yeah.
that night we got over it, and moved on. But yeah, that was rough. I appreciate you, bro, for that. I almost forgot about that.
No, don't worry about it. I knew she was mad, and I'm like, man, I cannot let you go down for that. So even I apologized later because I knew she was pissed. Oh,
Yes,
I
she
gotta
was.
keep an eye on him and don't let him get so fucking trash. So we can do things. We can physically operate and still be good to go.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a trip. That was about midway through 2003, I guess you could say. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, so January 2003, I go to okay, come off leave. I've just gotten married December, and I don't know how to work the train station deal. So I find myself, I forget where it was, but anyway, I couldn't figure it out. So I was like, oh man, this sucks. It's snowing in Germany. This is I really don't know exactly what day it was. I can't remember exactly, but I remember it was snowing. I couldn't figure the train system out. So I'm just like, I'm screwed, man, if I don't figure this out, because they're gonna count me AWOL. So because I had a 6 hour layover in Amsterdam.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, so I find myself at this, train station. I'm just kind of like, I don't know where to go from here. So I just go outside and see a taxi, and he's talking, yeah, Euro, and I'm like, whatever, dude. I just need to get to Schweinfurt. I don't care how much it is. I'll pay you $200. I don't care, or €200. I don't care what it is. So anyway, yeah, he drives me, man, all the way from, I don't even know where I was, but anyway, to Schweinfurt, and I can't even remember what the price of that taxi was. I can't even believe he did it. But
Damn.
anyway, so I walk in. It's like 11:30. So 12 o'clock's that cutoff time, right before you go AWOL, or they can start considering you AWOL.
Mm-hmm.
So I walk up, and Sergeant Duel is on CQ. CQ is a 24-hour operating type of duty that a person does. Okay, you always have a sergeant and a runner, right? Well, Sergeant Duel's the sergeant. I come up the steps. He's just like, Snapper, what's going on, man? I was just kind of like, oh, Sergeant, I'm wore out. Can't wait to get some rest. He's like, I'm sorry to hear about that. He's like, but you got to be down in the arms room and draw out your weapon at 2 o'clock, 0200. And I was like, it was pretty good, Sergeant. He's like, no, I'm serious. And I said, what are we doing? What's going on? He's like, well, you signed up for pre-ranger. And I said, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just going to forget that, bro. I was like, Sergeant, I'm just going
God
to
damn.
forget that. That's all right with you. And he just like, no. He said, ain't the way it works here. You sign up, you be at the arms room at 0200. And I was like, oh. So I go to my room and I got the packing list. Man, I'm just like, this sucks, man. This sucks. I don't want to do this. And Weiss, y'all remember Carl Weiss?
Oh yeah.
Oh
Shout
yeah.
out to him.
Yeah.
So he was one of the guys that actually came over with us into Germany. So me and him have become pretty good friends. Worked out together and stuff. And he helped me pack, man. He was a cool guy, and he just helped me pack. And I had a notepad that I took with me that I didn't see or notice or know that he had put on this, maybe 10 sheets into it. But he had put like a motivational type of, note on there, like, hey, man, you can do this. Just keep your head up and keep going. And I noticed that about halfway through pre-ranger school, which that was pretty cool, man. Anyway, so he's helping me pack and get everything up. We go and find ourselves on top of this mountain in Germany, at the pre-ranger place. And, oh, dude, it sucked. Man, it sucked. I remember sitting out in a bus, falling asleep. It's like 4 o'clock. Finally, they open up the gate at 5. We go in there, and Sergeant Major Beam comes in.
That big old face.
Yes, he comes up in there, and it's Sergeant Major Beam, man. I mean, I remember this guy from Kosovo. So, anyway, we're standing there. There's like, I don't know, there's like 20, 25 of us there from the whole battalion. So he's in there, giving us his motivational speech at 5 o'clock in the morning, all this stuff. Then he just stops in the middle of it. That's just the way he was. He just stopped, and all of a sudden he's like, "Who don't want to be here?" I was like, "That's you're an idiot if you raise your hand to that." And there's this little scrawny guy, man, that's like 5'6", weighed maybe $105 in the back, raises his little arm, man, while he's shaking at the same time. And I was like, "Oh no, dude, that is not what you do. How long have you been in the military?" I was like, "I haven't even been in that long, and I know better than that." And man, Sergeant Major Beam, he went off on this guy, dude. Oh my God! Just started. I was like, "Oh man!" So we just kind of moved away and let him go over there and put this guy into the floor, pretty much through his voice. And so anyway, I remember that. And pre-ranger school, it sucked, but we got through that. Went through that with little dude.
Phillips.
Ryan Howell.
Oh,
yeah,
Howell.
little dude.
Oh yeah.
Went through that with him. And so anyway, yeah.
When was this? What year was this again?
That was January of 2003.
Okay.
Yeah.
So funny story about that. I came back from block leave because I had signed up for that same pre-ranger course.
Well,
Yeah.
where were you?
Yeah, and so I have a very similar story. I came back from block leave, and as soon as I get back, I mean, like we're reporting at midnight. They're knocking on the door. Let's go, fucking pre-ranger. And I get back to the barracks at like, I don't know, 6 or 7 p.m. and Sergeant Zom, comes he runs to me in the hallway. He's like, "Hey man, you ready?" Same thing, right? Same thing as you. You're like, for what? They're like, "Dude, you signed up for pre-ranger, man. We're rolling out at midnight." I was like, "The fuck I am." He's like, "Listen, bro, like just like I told you, like you sign up, you go." I was like, "Yeah, nah, man. Like you can knock on my door all you want. I'm not gonna be there." He's like, "I was like, if you want to find me for pre-ranger course, I'll be at the fucking Rockford getting shit faced." And as you just pointed out, I wasn't there because I was at the Rockford getting shit faced.
Oh goodness, I couldn't get out of it, man. I mean, I was stuck. But now listen, you had a little bit of rank on you. Tell me, you've been in.
I had just made my specialist. You know what I mean? And I had a quote unquote deployment under the belt.
Exactly. You had that time. You had that. You had that relationship with them, so I could see that part. But I was definitely not getting out of it. So anyway, I made it through it though. So.
Were you there where Porter tried to put $1 in the tree?
I was there with Porter. You talking about the was he working like at a cafeteria or medic or something like that?
Something like that.
When he was something like that. Yeah, big guy,
big old black dude. And
yes, Porter, man, he was a cool cat, man.
Somebody told us that he was so tired and so delirious at some point that he got up and tried to stick $1 in the tree and try to get a soda out of the tree because he was so delirious from being tired during this pre-ranger thing.
Man, it could have been, man. It could have been.
So I'll tell you, man. Like I've since my whole time in the Army, I've met a lot of people that have ranger tabs, and every one of them has that exact story from their class.
So I always hear that story. Yeah, I want to know. I don't remember that, but I do. I do remember this. It was cold. It was snowing. It sucked, and we had I think it was a 6-day field training exercise at the end of it.
Yep.
And they
Yep.
dropped us off out of the Blackhawks, and me and Porter actually we were on guard together, pulling 50% guard on the first night. So we get marched up this, you could call it a hill. I would have said at that time it was a mountain. But anyway, get marched up this mountain, man, and come to this clear spot in the woods. And they say, a 360-degree perimeter. Set it up now, 50% guard. I'm like, oh my goodness, because we're sweating, and I don't know what the temperature is, but I know it's cold. Anyway, me and Porter wind up being on guard together on our spot. So we'd on an hour, off an hour, on an hour, off an hour, and during that time is when people started doing some crazy stuff, man, and he kicked me a few times, man. I didn't want to come out of my sleeping bag when I was my turn to go off guard. And you could see from a distance. It was like 300 meters, man. You could see our billets over there on the pre-ranger compound, I guess you'd call it. And you could see the heat coming from the top of the building.
Dang.
And I remember the ranger instructor guy. He sucked, dude. His name was Ranger Instructor Smith. I'll never forget him. He said, "It's right there." He said, "All you gotta do is just get up and say I quit." And I was just like, "Oh man, there was 3 guys that quit that night." But anyway, yeah, I don't remember Porter doing that. But I do remember him kicking me a few times, like, "Hey man, you're gonna have to get out of your sleeping bag." I was like, "Dude, give me 10 more minutes, man." Anyway, it was
So,
rough.
if I'm not mistaken, man, so Billy Jack was on that one as well, and so was DeSantis. And I remember hearing that DeSantis got like pneumonia during that because he had fallen into, I guess he was walking across some ice or something and fell into the water below it and got fucking like cold, obviously wet and cold, got pneumonia and like, or borderline pneumonia or something, but like was able to like stick it out and still made it through the pre-ranger course and still wasn't selected.
He could have. It could have happened, man. I mean, it was just I can't remember everything about it. I just remember it was cold and it sucked. And
Yeah.
but I don't know. I don't know how I made it through it, but I can tell you this much: the same guy that took us up on top of that mountain, because they would pull in shifts. So that's how they do the sleep deprivation thing. Is that they're there with you for so many hours, and then you're still awake, but yet a new group comes in to replace them, 3 other RIs.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then 3 other come in for them, but you're still awake. And after so many hours, man, I mean, you just get to the point where you become delirious. And yeah, you had people. I forget his name, but we had one guy that was down from us about 15 meters. He walked out. He said he was searching for MREs. Now, why they be? He left his weapon, unmanned. So I mean, it was that got shot off. The blank rounds in it, and yeah, it sucked, man. But we made it through it, the majority of us, and shortly after that, we got the orders to go to Turkey, and so all that stuff got stopped for me, and my wife was very upset of the pre-ranger thing because when I came back, I was telling her, "Oh, we did all this, did all that." She just starts crying over the phone because she's in the States at that time, and she's just like, "You're staying in, aren't you?" And I was like, "Oh, no, I just, I think about doing the ranger thing." She was like, "Yeah, you're pretty much gonna make a career out of this." And I'm
Dang,
like,
man.
It don't mean that, So
from the army is dumb to like full on hua, man. Drank the Kool-Aid.
Oh man, yes, I drink. I mean, I drink it up. I was loving it, man, because I mean, you the camaraderie and just the physical part of it. It was just, I don't know. I had a good time in the military. So, of course, not the deployments as much, but anyway. But yeah, so we get Turkey was coming up. So
before we get into Turkey, like I want to point out, like I know one thing that you said to the recruiters that like being able to work out and be physically fit or whatever, and then and you just kind of mentioned that, like, for those listening, Stamper is literally chiseled from granite.
Yeah.
Like,
there's no doubt about it.
Like head to toe, even the hairs on his head are like just immaculately placed. I mean, like, this man,
yeah.
Listen, and
That would be
listen,
nice.
I'm not over here obsessing over you. I'm just jealous. This man is literally of the gods, right? Or God or whatever the fuck you believe in. You know what I'm saying?
Man, when he showed up and I saw this dude, I'm like, man, how am I supposed to contend with this shit? When
Yeah.
it comes down to PT,
Right.
like this fucking dude is
Yeah.
gonna be out here doing a million push-ups and a million
But
sit-ups.
yeah, exactly. How am I
Damn,
supposed to
how
go
am I
out?
supposed to?
How am I supposed to go out in Schweinfurt and pick up chicks with this guy around? Fortunately
Listen,
for us,
man,
He's
he was,
married.
you
I'm
know,
like, oh, thank
yeah.
God.
Like, oh, thank God. Yeah, finally.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
I had never run 2 miles in my life before basic training, guys. Seriously, I mean,
I have seen
it
this
just
man in the shower, y'all. Head to toe, perfection.
cheeks and all. Yeah.
Cheeks and all, buddy.
Oh, me. Oh, yeah. They're being generous, everybody. No, no, man. I really enjoy physical activity, bro. I mean, I don't know what it is. It's just, maybe it's like an ADHD thing. I don't know. I
Are
want to
you?
do something. I don't know. I might be. I've never looked into it. But I don't know. I just want to, I mean, Sabrina's the same way. I mean, she's the
Yeah.
exact same way. I mean, I walk in the house, she's on her Peloton, and she's not doing that. She's in the floor doing sit-ups, and I'm just like, man, I thought, I put a workout in for the day. But anyway,
Yeah.
it's just, I don't know. I think it's just one of the things you just get into,
No,
All right.
I remember times, man, like when you were very specific about the things that you were picky about in relation to, well, one, your wife, but like just your physicality and how you felt like you needed to maintain what was already like unachievable for the rest of us, because we were extreme drunks and you had your wife at home. You know what I'm saying? We were all working on an extra bit of fluff, and you're like, man, I got to maintain this 84 pack. You know what I mean?
You know how many times I walked to the bathroom and Stamper's in there shaving his chest?
No, I don't. Tell me. I want a rough estimate, please,
You want
Tyree.
a
Like,
rough
because
estimate?
No,
Goodness.
no less than 6 times, man. No less than 6 times.
I'm willing to bet that Samper was in there every morning, 30 minutes before PT,
Smiling.
making sure, smiling, like
Listen, man,
like the
I was
Cheshire
just trying
Cat.
to keep up with Sergeant Felici, man.
Oh God.
Good luck
Oh,
with that.
Yeah, you want
man.
to talk about a beast?
Yeah,
You want to get talking about a beast? We'll talk about a beast.
dude,
That guy was a beast.
he could just look at a gym and fucking have a pump.
Yeah.
That dude was an
Biceps
animal,
just
man.
start raising. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
All right, so we're getting sidetracked again.
yeah.
Well,
Let's go to the nitty gritty. And believe it or not, dude, 86 minutes we've been talking, and we haven't even got to the heavy shit.
yeah.
No,
Let's get
I
there.
hadn't even touched it.
Yeah.
Let's deploy. Let's deploy.
Let's
So
do it.
here we go,
Deploy.
and we're in Iraq. Boom.
Oh shit! Bam.
What
hot,
does
You
how
skip right through Camp New York.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, we got. I
just
got a
touched base
feeling.
there and just kept rolling.
I got a feeling this is going to be a part 2 because we got
Yeah.
so much to talk about. So before we even get to Iraq again, I'm backtracking. What was the family feeling with you going into a combat zone?
Yeah.
For Iraq, every time me and Sabrina had to say goodbye, it got harder. So I take my hat off to the guys that are still doing it and have done it multiple times, because every time at the customs, I mean, it just got harder at the airports of saying goodbye. So I can imagine also having kids. So just me and her, having that relationship, and you'd always have that knot in the throat, man. You just kind of like, just go. I don't even want to go through this. Let's just go. And but yeah, she, I don't know. We just made it through it. There, some hard times. We'll talk about that towards the end of Iraq. I mean, but it plays a big toll on the relationships of a family. Like I said, I didn't have kids, so I don't know how that part is or was, but I can tell you, as far as like mine and her relationship as a married couple, it just got harder every time to say goodbye. So,
and you guys are still fresh, still a fresh marriage at that point, more or less.
Oh yeah,
And
definitely. Yeah, and you know, I say, you know, the infantry kind of contributed to that because every time, you know, we'd start getting used to each other, we'd have a field training exercise.
oh
This is
yeah,
in 2003.
never
So
never
I would
failed.
say this. I would say this, man. I mean, I don't know what it was, but every time we would come back, it felt like we was dating. I mean, it was hard for me to reach over there. I was like nervous reaching over there, even grabbing her hand when they were
Hmm.
coming and picking me up at the barracks and then going back to the apartment. So that part was great, man. I felt like we were dating for a whole solid year in 2003. So
Hmm.
that was great. But anyway, yeah. So we said our goodbyes and we're headed to Camp New York, man. How long were we in Camp New York? What, 1, 2, 3 weeks? Something like that.
3 weeks.
3 weeks,
Kuwait.
okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you got to climatize and you got to do a little bit of training. We're trying to wait for all our stuff to get over there, which all our Bradley still didn't come. So, you know, we had to drive in like y'all were talking about in the earlier podcast, driving in with soft shell Humvees. And, yeah, that sucked, man. We were like, I think we were the second or third Humvee in a soft shell Humvee with Bo Zill on the back, um, with a plywood box that he was sitting on with I think it was a 240, might have been a 249. I was driving, and I think Rob, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was Rob. I'm pretty sure it was. He was my passenger, so he was my team leader at the time.
Yeah.
And then Bo Zill's back there on that box, and then I forget who the other guy. I know they're going to be like, man, Snapper, I can't believe you forgot me. But anyway, there's somebody in the back. So
Ghost dude.
yeah, I don't know who it was, man. The thing I do remember about driving into Iraq, y'all talk about crossing that berm, that big dirt berm that kind of was like the border of Iraq
Mm-hmm.
and Kuwait.
Yep.
I do remember the feeling of crossing into that, and the guy, the soldier, sergeant, whatever he was, he said something. It was kind of like, because you know we had to have our weapons out the window the whole time, like we was driving. I don't know really understand all that, but anyway, you had to have your weapon out, sitting on your door, facing with the window down, and even while we were driving, that's what we was told to do. So I was driving with my M16 pointed out the window, and we cross, and he says something like lock and load, and y'all be careful. And that's when reality kind of set in. Boom. It's just like, all right, this is it. We're actually crossing. I mean, you felt like you was going to hit an IED, 5 meters into Iraq.
Yeah.
That's what I felt like.
Yeah.
I was like, we're just
Bam.
yeah, this is it. As soon as you cross over, who's the first one
Hey,
going to get hit?
lock and load,
Immediate.
boys. Boom. Yeah.
Damn. Immediate over spice.
Welcome.
It's too spicy.
Exactly. That's what it felt like, though. I mean, your whole world changed, man. I mean, and I'm sure a lot of guys felt like that, and some of them probably didn't, but that's the way I felt anyway. So yeah, we had a three-day, 3-night drive, I believe, into Samara.
Mhm.
So, and the worst part about that drive, I remember y'all talking to some other guys on the earlier podcast um, about falling asleep and everything like that.
Yeah.
I think I only swerved a few times, but we were always doing blackout drive, and with your night vision goggles on, and we're the only ones supposed to be able to see the headlights and all that stuff, which was pretty cool. That's one cool thing about the military, man. All the specs they have and
Mhm.
technology. But anyway, so yeah, I swerved a few times, I think, but I don't think I got that far off of what some
Oh,
of
I
y'all
did.
said you did.
Oh, I did.
So
I'll
you're
tell you
probably
what.
one of the reasons we stopped.
I'll tell you what, man. So I just drove down. So I live in Northwest Arkansas. Matter of fact, I just drove pretty much right by your house.
Drew did.
Yeah, drove it. I pretty much just drove right by your house, man. I drove down to Tampa.
Yeah.
So I went through, Memphis and then through Tupelo into Birmingham and
you were very close, bro.
Yeah.
I'm about an hour away from Tupelo.
Yeah. So I just drove through that area on my way down to Tampa to see none other than Mike Griffin get married. He just got married to his wife, Kat. And
congratulations.
yeah, man. Super excited for him. She's super great. She seems really fun.
Hell yeah.
Got to see Nathan Love while we were down there. I'm hoping to have him
Awesome.
on.
What up,
pretty soon.
Love?
And I'll tell you what, man, my whole family, because I drove down there. I left on a Thursday, about noon from Northwest Arkansas. Drove all night long. Got there at 7:00 Eastern time, or I'm sorry, Eastern time. So I drove the 17 hours straight, and then hung out with Mike, partied, hung out like the night of the wedding, hung out with Mike and Love, partied some more, slept for a couple hours, and then drove my ass right back. So 36 hours for a total of like 2,420 miles total. And not once did I feel drowsy or sleepy. And I credit that to what I learned driving into Iraq.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's the last
So it
time.
had its benefits.
Yeah, that's the last time I've ever fallen asleep at the wheel. Never the fuck again. But so shout out to Mike, his wife, Nate Dogg, and his whole fam bam. I got to meet his daughter, and talk to her about some of stories about her dad and all that good stuff. That was a really cool experience, man. I got to tell you, really cool experience.
Meeting Nate's youngins.
Yeah, well, I think his oldest daughter, Sapphire.
Okay,
Real
how old is
cool
she?
kid. She's 22.
Holy shit!
Yeah, right. She was 3 when Mike and I met her for Thanksgiving in 2001, and
I'm not cooking.
That sounds like bacon.
Stamp, you in there frying something up?
No, it's not me, brothers.
It's bologna is what it is. Frying spam. No. So she's 22 years old. She's going to school for welding. She works with her dad in his shop. I mean, real great kid. You know what I mean? So and you like to see that, man. It's kind of like when we would play Call of Duty with Anthony. You know what I'm saying? Like, real great kid, man. Like, it's just awesome to see that like you people are having fucking great humans. I even got to meet Mike's daughter, Sarah. She's 5. Real great human, just all smiles, man.
That's great.
Yeah, I can only imagine
family,
Samper.
then.
Oh yeah, man, for sure. I can only imagine Samper, like what your kids are like, man. How many you got? Like 2, 3, 4, 7?
I got
37?
3. Yeah, I got a 15-year-old girl, a 11-year-old boy, and an 8-year-old boy. So yeah,
they're awesome. I met
open.
them a few times. I actually was at where was I at when y'all actually drove to come
that's
meet
Fort
me?
Knox, bro.
Yeah,
Fort
drove
Knox,
to Fort Knox,
Kentucky.
come hang out, man. That was awesome. We had a dinner. We had a steak
Yeah.
dinner. It was nice. It was real cool. Them kids is probably grown as hell now. Enormous.
2014, man. My youngest, he was just a baby at that time.
Yeah, he was.
Dang,
I got
yes.
pictures. I got pictures still.
We do. We got pictures. I still got them on my phone. What was crazy at the time, man, this was what's ironic about that trip, is that I did not know the Big Red One was at, there was like a Big Red One up at Fort Knox at the time.
Not just that, but like 126 specifically was there.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's unreal, man. So that's the stuff I'm talking about that happens for a reason. So, Brown here in 2014 is coming to Fort Knox for training, whatever he's doing. And that's just happens to be the time where I'm like, hey, I'd like to see you. We need to meet in Nashville. And he's like, well, I can't get there. I said, why not? And he's just kind of like, well, I don't have a ride. So we weren't even going to meet up with you, bro, until my wife said on a Saturday morning, she said, hey, I want to go up there. I said, that's like a 5.5 hour drive, right? And she's like, yeah. Sorry, guys, I got to get my ride here for a second. She's like, yeah, I know. She said, but you may not get to see him again for a while. And I was like, oh, cool. So that's the kind of wife I got, man. And we took that 5.5 hour drive with almost a newborn because.
I remember that car seat in there.
Yeah. Yeah, well, he was screaming too. So, so yeah, that's the. We came up there and there we were taking a picture with the Big Red One. insignia behind
Yeah,
us.
man.
Huge.
I was
So-
there. I was there in 2003 doing the same mission that Tyree was doing in 2013, doing the same mission that you were doing in 2014. You said you had fun doing it. I absolutely hated that gig, but to each their own.
What's that?
So we were doing.
You talking about basic training?
No. So this was for cadet command, like low. So the
Oh,
LTC,
yeah.
LTC and LDAC, the leadership training course and the leadership development assessment course for cadets who are trying to commission to be officers in college. And when I did it, I did it as a drill sergeant, and we had our command team, and then there was the officer command team. It was just a whole miscommunication clusterfuck. But I mean, we met some really great people that I'm still friends with today, who are like seriously like amazing people. Some of the cadets who did join, didn't join, amazing people all the way around. Cool experience. Never want to do it again. But if I'm not mistaken, 126 was there, had just deployed when we got there in 2014. So they might have been just getting back when you were there in 2014.
So,
Yeah,
see, that's
I think
the
so.
stuff that's crazy, man. I mean, how in the world, at that time, well, first of all, why would they be there? You said they moved multiple times at that year, and then within that season, and that's where we met up. So
Yeah.
we drove a 5.5-hour drive to see No Sound for one night, and drove 5.5 hours back the next day.
Okay.
So
you just reminded me of something, and I want to touch on this real quick. So we have mentioned, and Tyree, I don't know how you feel about this, but I feel like one day you and I need to have an episode, just you and I, where we talk about all the nicknames that existed with our dudes.
Oh yeah, there's
because tons, right? But as far as I remember, you only had one, and it was No Sound Brown.
that was it.
That's it.
No Sound.
It depends. It depends because Sergeant Gill called me Leroy Brown.
You're right.
Leroy.
Well,
The whole
right,
and sang the whole thing downtown Leroy Brown, the baddest man in the whole damn town. Every time for a minute when we first got to know each other.
Well, and now that you say that, I forget that you had the self-proclaimed nickname of the Conquistador.
That is correct. I have the Conquistador. No doubt about it.
But Stamp D-O double, which we will get into in a second. Where does, from your best recollection, No Sound Brown come from?
No Sound Brown. All right. Well, I think it's just on one of those drunken episodes to where we were just sitting around. I was like, Sound, man. I said, Brown, you're black, and I never can see you when we're in a field training exercise, because we were in the same team at one time. And here's one thing, is that when we were in Sergeant Gill's squad. You remember this, Brown? When we first were in Germany doing field training exercises, we were in Sergeant Gill's squad, and I don't know how many times he made us go through those woods. It was my first time to use night vision goggles the way we were using them. We were trying to come up on a house to do a raid, I guess you could call it. But we had to make it through these woods with our night vision goggles first. Man, oh goodness. I don't know how many times I ran through those. I mean, the routine that we had to go through. But Sergeant Gill, he would make us start over and over. And because, you hear twigs, breaking and all kinds of people tripping, going through the woods. It was really bad. But anyway, I couldn't see you. I could see everybody else, but I couldn't see you. And I was just like, that was one thing. But when we got to the house, I was a 249 machine gunner at the time. When we got to the house, we come up on the house, and we were talking together, me and No Sound there, and I said, listen, when I go up in there, I said, I've got to shoot this thing off. I said, nobody shoots their 249. I said, all I hear is pop, 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 and that's it. I said, man, I'm fixing to spray that thing. So anyway,
Jeez, I
Brown's
remember
like, Brown's like, all right, man. He's like, you do what you got to do. He said, you got that. I said, well, I just want you, know ahead of time. I'm fixing to go in there and spray. Because they would put those balloons up. Y'all remember they put the balloons up? They put them on the silhouettes.
Yeah.
They put little
Oh, yeah.
balloons up. All right. So we finally make it. I don't know how many times it took us to get there. Maybe 8 times. Sergeant Gill made us go through that. I mean, we started at night, and it was like morning when we finally got to this objective. So anyway, we're sitting up there at the wall, just fixing to, go in. And we go in. Sure enough, I mean, no sound goes down to the right. The next guy takes the left. And here I come around, peeling the corner. And there's that silhouette where I knew it to be. And I said, there it is. It's on.
He said, there it is.
I raised that thing to the shoulder, man. I'm just going at it, man. And I kid you not, in my peripheral vision, I see no sound coming from the corner going to the middle of the room. And I'm like, what is it? And he stood, I mean, it was like a board, man. He stood stiff as a board. And I'll never forget that. And I was like, listen, I seen you that time, bro. But I said, hey, from now on, it's No Sound Brown. And there may be other stories for, for him being called that. But that was one of the ones that stuck out to me. And we throw a rhyme out every now and then, bust a beat when we get a little tipsy. And No Sound Brown, it just came out. So
whoa.
Go
I
ahead.
remember Stamper walking through the door with this enormous grin. Like, Stamper smiles.
Yeah.
No, he had this enormous grin.
Fixing to unload, man.
Huge. And he pulled that fucking saw up. And I happened to just turn, and all I saw was the flash of the muzzle going off and him just smiling. I knew not to walk.
I did the same
anymore.
thing on Sergeant Gill, the next room, bro.
I knew not to walk anymore because I knew that he was going to let off, but just his face is burnt into my memory because it was like, imagine a completely dark room, and every time you saw a flash, you knew it was Stamper shooting, but it was everyone else freezing, watching Stamper shoot like a 15-round burst.
Hey, we went into the next room. I did the same thing to Sergeant Gill. There was wood chips. I kid you not, wood chips coming up on Sergeant Gill on that one room.
Yeah,
it was such a short room. Yeah, I mean, I was going to shoot that thing. The saw gunner never had a good time on a raid.
No, you're right.
Training. So I was like,
man,
I'm going to shoot this thing.
When we were in Kosovo, right? We did live fire room clearances, and I was a saw gunner at this point. Like, or I was assigned the saw for this particular training. I wasn't a saw gunner. I remember being, it was kind of in midday, and for some reason I had those leather gloves on, the work gloves, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kick this fucking, like, I'm the breacher / the fourth man / the saw gunner, because that all makes sense. And so, like, kick the door in. 1 man goes in, 2 man goes in, 3 man goes in. I bust in. There's 2 targets in there. Same situation with the balloons acting as vitals, so in the chest and in the head. Mm-hmm. Well, there's one target that these 3 people with M16s just cannot fucking hit from fucking 7 feet away. So I get the bright idea. I'm like, well, fuck, I got a saw. I have a machine gun. So I fucking, like you said, pull the fucking gun up to my shoulder and let down on the trigger. Mm. And I fucking ride that thing from crotch to face, right? But because I was wearing those gloves, my glove got caught underneath the trigger inside the trigger housing, or the trigger well. And I had what is known as a runaway gun. So my saw is just going fucking ape shit. I'm like, I'm not doing it. And I look around, like the gun is just going off. And I look to somebody to my left. I'm like, what the fuck? And they're like, point it at the ground, dumbass. So I pointed at the ground, yank my hand out. Glove is still in there. I'm like, son of a bitch. It's still pumping 5.56 into the dirt. You know what I mean? So I reach back, grab the glove, yank it out. Finally, the gun saw. Whew. You know what I mean? And in my head, Private First Class Johnson is just like, well, that was fucking wild. Everybody else is like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You don't wear gloves on a machine gun, you fucking moron. And I
Yeah.
was like,
And that's when you say, "Hey, I'm KJ Johnson, bro." That's what you get. That's what
Yeah.
you get when you go into a place with me. That's just the way it's
Yeah.
going to be.
Yeah,
Now,
spray
you
and
don't
pray,
like
man.
it, don't give me the saw.
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't even know why you came to the damn thing.
Why am I even here? I'm a 240 gunner.
Tell you what I'm gonna do with this. Tell you what I'm gonna do with this.
Yeah. You see everybody in this room? You're all getting sprayed. So okay. So so we keep calling you Stamp Dog, Stamp Dio, Double.
That just came from the that just came from the day, man. I mean, that was just back in the day. That stuck with me for that stuck with me for a while. Back in the wilder days, even before Germany, and then we got to Germany. It just progressed. So
Nope, no, that's not what I want to hear. Tyree, I think you know better. I think you know what we're getting at, right? Like remember sitting out at the gazebo? There's one time in particular, right? Like we're out there drinking everything under the sun, right?
yes.
Stamper, although he is from Alabama, can rhyme pretty decently.
Oh yeah, that's why we start calling him Stamp Dog because everybody was so drunk and it was so crazy. It was like a fucking jackass scene going on.
Yeah.
It was.
That was an
Well,
interesting.
it
That
was.
man, I remember so much.
We
now.
used to
had
have-
fresh
we
running back
had
and forth to the shop to get us
Yeah.
a beer.
yeah, and then somebody was barbecuing. Somebody had a grocery cart, and we were shoving each other down the pathway
Oh God.
straight
That
into
was
the
it.
wall.
Dougie Fresh brought that grocery cart full of beer. That's how he made his runs, bro.
Full
That's
speed.
how he
Yeah,
made
he
his
brought it
runs
back.
from the
Yeah.
barracks.
No, that's what happened. It was we were like, imagine. Jesus. So imagine, if you will, six to eight dudes all the way drunk, slamming this basket with somebody in it, full force, full strength, right into a wall. Bam, bam.
Yeah.
People are bouncing off this wall. There's more drinking going on over here. Somebody's playing a piano in the background. It's fucking crazy. Man, I loved it, man.
Good time. That was the wilder days. It was good times though. You know?
I
Yeah,
just
man,
remember,
it was
I just
awesome.
remember
I
sitting
loved it.
around with these like BS rap battles, right? Like, because none of us could do that. Like, I for fucking one cannot rhyme shit on the spot, right?
No.
But I remember Stamper, you know what I mean, like giving his best go and just being like, "What? How is he so good at this? His body is chiseled, and so are his words." Like, get out of here!
It wasn't that great.
No,
But
how is it?
If you need a minute,
always
man,
like
I
throwing a
could
beat
step
every
out of
now
here.
and then.
No, listen, I do. Tyree, could you put the phone down for a second?
I would just
Stamper, me and you,
dip up out of here.
we need to have a moment, sir, because you are literally, for any women we have listening, this is the man you want. Tyree and I are trash in comparison.
Speak for yourself. I lost the way. Hey, man, sidetrack McGee. Fucking fall in line over here.
So listen. I just cracked open number 8 tonight. Okay, so bear with me,
man. I'm heartbroken at the fact that this particular record is about to end.
It's not
shortly.
What you got then? What you want to know? What else you got?
No. We got so much more to go over, man. We still got to talk about, okay, now we're at Brasco Mora. The first time you got contact, that room you walked into that was full of explosives that didn't go off.
Life after, man. It's a big one, right?
Yeah. We got a whole lot to talk about.
What's our time frame right now?
I mean, right now we're sitting at 8 minutes left in this show. We would have to either just start a new one, continue, or have another day with Stamper back so we can really get into it, because we got so much to get into.
Yeah,
it's whatever y'all want to do. I got the time, so just let me know.
We can continue.
I say let's fill up. You said 8 minutes. Let's fill up 7 minutes worth of good times
Mhm.
And then for those listening, teaser alert, let's fucking keep going, dude. And we'll start part 2 that
Let's
will
go.
be released at a later date.
Yes, I will not release it randomly. I promise.
You man, Tyree, I love you to death, brother. You are like one of my favorite fucking humans on this planet. I want you to know that. Like, I absolutely love you to death.
I know, but
No, there's no but to it. It's hilarious. Like, so for people listening, like Tyree and I have been talking about doing this podcast, or not podcast, but like telling these stories for the longest. The podcast came up fairly recently in life, and you want to know how I know that you are excited about doing this.
how's that?
Look at the last 15 seconds of us doing a podcast and how much content we've pushed out. And that's because you're excited about doing this. You're excited about putting out these stories, talking to our buddies from back in the day, getting their stories out. Like, you are excited about this, man, to the point, like, listen, I don't get excited about a lot of things. I really don't, man. But like, you got me excited about it. You know what I mean? So like, I absolutely get it, man. Like, I know where you're coming from, man. I feel like when I saw the surprise episode that was posted today, I was like, yeah, I get it. That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah. Because we were supposed to record last night, and then that one pops up today. It's like, yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, I get it. I mean, I see what's going on, man. You know what I mean?
I got so much shit to go over and explain to folks, and it's funny. I was talking to my mom and my aunt on Halloween, and they were saying, you know what? From what you are saying, talking about during these shows, it's giving us more insight about what you were going through while you were going through all that shit, and it's crazy that is one of those reactions that I got, because that wasn't what I was expecting. Like we explained, we just wanted to talk to our friends, but now my family wants to come on, and they actually have a valid idea of saying, hey, let's talk to some family and have them explain what they were feeling.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
man.
that'd be great, man.
That
That'd
would
be
be,
great.
yeah, for sure, man. Because like, you think about like, Sabrina, like, you guys got married, kind of like that fucking Johnny Cash song, Jackson, right? Like, y'all got married in a hurry, man. Like, real quick,
Yeah.
relatively, right?
Oh man, we just had to be with one another, man. I mean,
Yeah. And then, I guess, by the time we had deployed, y'all had been married, so let's say maybe 14, 15 months, right? Right
Yeah.
thereabout, and been together for just under 2 years.
Yes.
And
We had
y'all,
dated on and off before then, but yeah,
yeah,
we
and y'all are going on married 19 years solid next month.
yes, unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is. But I'm grateful, man, because I mean, like you said, I mean, you got the family going, and the kids are great, and we even homeschool. I mean, we we do things a little differently, and she's just been a blessing in my life, because all this basically all the stuff she's had to put up with, and she just never give up on me, man. And I know that's how it is with a lot of wives that may
Yeah.
listen to this, or
Yeah.
some of the guys that have wives like that. And we wouldn't be where we are today. Honestly, I can tell you right now, part of it's because of my wife. So I mean, I give all the credit I can to her. So
Yeah, man. She
100%.
lucked out. You lucked out. I mean, it sounds like it was a real good deal, man.
oh,
For sure.
it is,
Hell yeah.
and it's still going. So I'm hoping we still got plenty of time left.
And
So,
still going well. I really do like the idea that you were talking about in the very beginning. Like every year taking a vacation, just you and the spouse. You know what I mean? Like
it needs to happen.
Yeah.
If you haven't tried it and you're married, you need to try it once a year. Just once a year, just get away, to yourselves.
Fuck them kids, right? They don't need to see New York. Not on your dime.
Yeah.
No, that wouldn't have been a good trip with 3 kiddos, I promise you.
Nah. You said the youngest was how old again? I forget.
He's 8. Yeah,
Oh
he's
yeah,
8.
that would have been hectic.
Oh, it would have been. We already knew that when she planned the trip. She just like, that will not go well. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's wonderful. I don't know what else she's got planned up, up her sleeve in years to come, but hopefully there's many more years and many more adventures.
Oh yeah, for sure. Now, Stamper, I have one question for you.
What you got?
One very important question for you. Now,
Wait. Before you
sir.
get to
Go
that
ahead.
question, I gotta cut you off because we are out of time with this tape. We're gonna have to start a new one.
no,
Kick
real quick.
another one up.
All right. Well, 2 minutes.
Stamper.
What's up?
SEC, Auburn or Roll Tide?
Oh, I'm Roll Tide all the way, baby. Yeah, I'm Roll Tide till I die.
All right, well, fuck Auburn, but you didn't say Woo Pig, so you know.
Hey, man, I ain't got nothing against Arkansas. We got y'all in a couple of weeks. So we'll actually be at that game in Tuscaloosa. So can't wait for that. We're taking the 2 young boys, the 2 boys with us. So
Well, shit,
they
I
get
might try and
excited.
go to that.
My middle child, man, he is all about some Bama, all about some football. But yeah, I ain't got nothing against Auburn. I just my friends turned me off on Auburn quick when I was young.
No.
My grandfather was a huge Paul Bear Bryant fan. So
Auburn can burn in hell.
Wow.
you said it.
You're alienating our entire fan base.
Yeah.
All right, so check it out.
everybody.
Hey, okay, so we're gonna come back, continue with Mr. Stamper here, because again we have so
Iraq.
much. We got so much to talk about still because we haven't even touched Iraq. Thank you for listening. If you decide not to continue, which you are an asshole if you don't.
Just being honest. Just being honest.
Just throw it out there.
Yeah. So thank you for listening. Please like, share, and subscribe to our show. Before I forget, we have a Facebook page. We got all kind of stuff. We're everywhere. So
About to be on YouTube.
Yeah, that's coming. So hey man, thank you for listening to Before I Forget, and have a good one. But continue to the next show.
If you don't continue the next show, don't have a good one.
Yeah. Have a bad one. All right.
Yep.
Bye.
We're just scratching the surface.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.